Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. This is my first voiceover, so I might be a bit weird and awkward, I'm sorry. But I just wanted to talk through this painting because it goes through lots of different stages, and I thought I better explain it. So firstly, you'll see that the canvas has already got some painting on it. This was some experiment that I did about a year and a half ago, and I was really into it at the time, but now looking back, I don't know where I was going. So I just grabbed some acrylic paint and started throwing some colours on and seeing where it would go. I'm really into Scottish folklore and legend and landscape at the moment, so I tried to incorporate those colours, and the waterfall just seemed to come naturally, so I just started developing around it. I'm using a technique called dry brush, which basically means that I'm painting with a dry brush, nothing too fancy about it. It's not a technique that I use very often. In fact, I don't even tend to use acrylic paint very often. The entire painting was really just an experiment for me, and I think I'm pretty happy with the results and how it came out. I keep layering lots of different colours and trying to see how it will shine through and what it will do. And then I also added the kind of leafy foreground at the front, but that doesn't last too long. The whole balance of the painting just wasn't working, so I decided to get rid of it, even though I was liking the flowers that I put in, but they've gone now. They're there in memory. They're there under all of the other layers of paint. I also noticed that the paint that was under there before I started painting it took really well to the idea of mountains and rock textures, so I thought that I would add to that and try and make them look a bit more mountainous. And as you can see, one of my cats decided that he wanted to attack the paintbrush on the other side of the canvas, so I had to shoo him away or I was going to get a big hole in the painting. At the moment I'm painting in my conservatory in my house, so the lighting is forever changeable and can be quite temperamental. The amount of blankets that I would hang up on windows was ridiculous, just so I could see the painting. So I'm sorry about the changing light sometimes. So this was one of the first changes to the kind of middle ground. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't like where I was going, so I moved it. I added some more grasses, didn't like it. So that goes away again as well. I started to define the mountain shapes, but later on I get rid of them because it's just too sharp and too clean, and I preferred the idea of just mist in the background that gave the illusion of high peaks that you couldn't really see. The focus was more the waterfall and the shrubbery around it. As you can see, this is me now getting rid of the water, and already the painting's starting to look better, and I get rid of that really deep bluey green plants as well. They're just not very Scottish. They're more Mediterranean looking plants. That was a colour error on my part, but they're gone now, all in layers and memories in the paint, but now unseen. So So I realised here I hadn't actually moved the camera up. That was me being a numpty. So what I was doing was painting in some rocks around the waterfall. I wanted to look a bit more tactile and textured, and that there was a bit more going on, and this waterfall didn't just suddenly appear but had cut its way through the rock. I'm really into painting moss at the moment, so I really want the rocks to look nice and moist, that they're in a wet environment getting lots of splashback from the water. So that was my intentions there, trying to make them green and luscious. Also, at the moment in Scotland, all of the gorse is coming into flower, which is this beautiful yellow plant. Spiky, very spiky. I've fallen into a gorse bush before, and it smells of coconut. It's really beautiful, so I thought, oh, I'll add some gorse in, seems it's flowering just now. So if you're wondering what the yellow dots are, it's gorse. I sat for a while with this painting. The left-hand side, I just wasn't sure what I wanted on that side. Like you've seen, at first I had a foreground with lots of plants, and then I didn't like it. I wanted to extend the water, and then even then, like, it just wasn't working. I couldn't get it right. But after a while, I just decided, right, I'll put a little tree in beside the waterfall, and we'll see where it goes. And I liked the way it was just catching the light and gave it a bit more drama. So I thought, right, I'll add some more trees into the left there, and I think it really completed the piece in total. Thank you for taking the time today to watch me create this piece, and I'm sorry for my incredibly awkward voiceover trying to explain what I'm doing. Hopefully I'll get a bit better, I will try. But until then, thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye!